I thought, looks like I've been ripped off. I'm sure I've been ripped off, boys and girls. I went after the last show, I'm afraid I didn't have time to get my new jeans. I found somewhere that does cheaper jeans, which actually look very nice. My friend Tom, who I often see on Sunday nights, I showed him my new £90 jeans, and he says, "How much?" £90, I said. Well, it's the most I've ever spent on a pair of jeans. G-Star. G-Star. I mean, they do hang rather seductively from my buttocks, I must say, but nevertheless, £90. And he's told me to go to Top Man and get I think they were called workers' loose fit ones. Because we're at the age where we dress now for comfort. We do not need the tight fabric following our curves around the edges. And I meant to get another pair yesterday or a couple of days ago after the last show, but unfortunately I ran out of time because I had to go to Sainsbury's Home. Oh no, it's not called Sainsbury's Home Base anymore, is it? It's called Home Base DIY place to get a few bits and pieces. I needed some very tall sticks. You know, the plant sticks, like bamboo canes. I had to get a load of those for the sunflowers, one of which is now over 8 foot tall and still hasn't flowered. However, it has got the... I don't know if you've ever seen sunflowers growing before, but it's got the big head at the top now, which I can see is about to grow. So that won't it'll only get about another 6 inches taller, if that. But I have a sunflower in it. Actually, it may even be taller than that. I've got 5 sunflowers growing in the garden. One is now open and looking beautiful. Don't they look beautiful, sunflowers? They really do. They're all about over 6. They're definitely all about over 6.5 foot tall. But one of them in particular is taller than the rest, and it must be coming on 8.5, 9 foot now, which is fantastic. I can actually see, I can almost touch it out of my bedroom window. Oh, I hope burglars don't try and climb up the sunflower. Huh? No, they wouldn't. I mean, the plants aren't strong enough anyway. But they do tend to wave a lot in the wind, and they were sticked. You know, I did have a stick put in the ground next to them right from when they started growing, but they've outgrown that stick and the next size up. So yesterday I had to go to what was it yesterday? 2 days ago I went to Sainsbury's Home Base to get some more sticks, and they were much longer. I think the sticks themselves were about I would say about 7 foot long, so maybe 8 foot long. They were taller than me, weren't they? How much taller were they? Yeah, I would say the sticks were 8 foot long. That was quite fun trying to get them in the car, because I've only got a small car. I've got a Toyota Aygo, and what I had to do was kind of put them in diagonally, you know, and a little bit out of the passenger window, but they weren't sticking out, because that would be quite dangerous if someone was walking past, wouldn't it, eh? You'd have an eye out with one of my plant sticks as I go along. Oh, aye, Captain, where's my eye gone? Oh, it's on the end of Chris Reardon's plant stick. So I got those home, and I've re-sticked the sunflowers. I didn't take the other sticks out. I put another stick next to it, or kind of behind it, and tied that to the original one, and a little bit further up where the sunflowers, I mean, they really were going backwards and forwards in the wind. Yes, oh, the wind blows here in Royal Bracknell. So I bought that. I wasn't ripped off for those. They cost me £4, which I think is all right, you know, for a few sticks. I bought some more Tomarite. That's the fertiliser stuff that you use with your tomato plants, because I think I've got about 7 or 8 red tomatoes now, ready to be eaten. They're coming along very well. Chris Reardon's very own food production orchard here in Royal Berkshire. I bought some hooks. Now, the hooks I actually bought for here in Studio 2, right, to hang a picture up behind me. If you're listening, I shall now describe. We have next to me a little glass unit with various little bits and pieces in, which I change to keep the excitement going. We don't want the same things in there all the time. all bits and pieces and stuff people have sent in. Talking of which, I must give you the postal address today because I didn't have time at the end of the last show. In fact, I'll do it after this little segment if you want to get a pen. Okay, post address. Let me write that down before I forget it again. On the and then there's a plant kind of hanging down from the top of the glass cabinet. Then there's me sitting there in the middle. And on the right is another very tall plant, which I've had for quite some years now. I keep meaning to repot it. It's very tall. It's about 5 foot tall, this plant. And it kind of grows up a very thick pole. I don't know what it's called. Is there a label in there? No. I don't know what it's called, but they've got very big leaves. And the leaves, sometimes in the summer, they tend to have little drips on the end of the leaves. Beautiful plant. So I've moved that in here as well. We have the table lamp, which my friend Ron really doesn't like. I don't know if it was just the lampshade he didn't like. So I've put another lampshade on there today. It's like only a cheap thing. It's actually quite dirty, but you can't see that on the video, the fact that it's dirty. He says he's going to lend me his lamp that he's got at home for use in the show, which is quite nice of him. There's the mirror ball behind me, which I've lowered a bit. After watching the last show, or a little bit of the last show, I realised that the mirror ball was actually quite high. You could barely see it, so I've lowered that a little bit. All right. And now, behind me is hanging a nice big picture of myself and my nephew when we went to Skegness. Way back in, I think it was in May this year, and we took a few pictures, and my brother-in-law is now making, he's got a special printer and the equipment to make very large canvas pictures. So you give him a photograph, and on this printer thing he does whatever he does, I don't know, and it comes out with a beautiful large picture, which I suppose, how big is that? Hang on a minute, let me see. 1, 2, I would say it's about 3 foot by 2 foot. Beautiful pictures. And I have actually sent him a few more bits and pieces because I'd like to keep changing that picture as the shows go on. All right, so always give some those of you watching something to look at. Okay, and today there's a picture of me and my little nephew sitting there, stuffing our faces with an ice cream. I've got chocolate on mine, and he's got kind of a naked ice cream with nothing on it. Hey, is that exciting you? The thought of a naked ice cream? Is it? So I bought that. I had to buy a new garden watering thing. What sprays, it goes left and then it goes right and then it goes left and then it goes right. Because the other one stopped moving. Don't know why, it was just like stationary. So only a little bit of the garden was getting watered. Not of course that we need to water the garden at the moment with the amount of rain we've had here. But it's important for the tomato plants, you see. You've got to keep those moist, otherwise when the tomatoes start coming out, they all start cracking. Which it really isn't good news. So I bought that. Oh yes, I bought the hooks to hang up the picture. Now, it does annoy me. I went in there and I wanted to spy one specific type of hook, but you couldn't do it. Hang on, I've got it here. Yes, I have. 1 minute. By the way, I am waiting for a delivery today. My new microphone is supposed to be coming today, a little tie clip one. So if the bell goes, I might have to rush downstairs and go and get my delivery, okay? So apologies in advance for that, but don't worry, I will be back. Yeah, I wanted to buy small hooks to put in the ceiling, okay? And at the top of the picture, or just behind the picture frame, so that I could then hang up the picture. Just one type of hook. Do you know what? They didn't have one type of hook. The only thing I had was like a little plastic thing, a little plastic box, right, with 45 pieces cup hook kit. And in this, they give you 45 hooks of varying different shapes and sizes. Why do they do that? I don't want the other hooks. All I want is your bog standard cup hook, small version. And instead, I've ended up with those even smaller hooks, like L-shaped hooks, and even hooks with no screw bits on the end, when I don't understand those at all. I mean, there's no screw bit on the end of that, which is mad. So rather annoying that. When I was a little boy, we had a hardware shop in Roehampton, a place where I grew up, really. I grew up in Peckham up to 1969, and then we moved to Roehampton, and I stayed in Roehampton for most of my childhood, from 1969 to 1983. And it was a great place to grow up, Roehampton. And there was a little hardware shop up the road, Roehampton High Street, near the chip shop. Well, I used to enjoy chips 2 or 3 times a week, I must say. And the hardware shop, you could go in there and say, I'd like 2 hooks, please. And he would sell you 2 hooks. Or I'd like 10 nails, please. And he would go in and they'd have this big plastic kind of little drawers. I don't know what they're called. You often see them in car repair places, like a big plastic thing with little drawers in it, and each little drawer has things in it. And this hardware shop, which wasn't very big, had a particular smell to it. They used to sell everything in there. Paint, nails, saws, everything. Everything was there. It was a great shop. And the staff would get to know you, which was always very nice. And in this big drawer thing with all the little plastic drawers, they had nails and hooks, and you could go in and I'd like to buy 1 hook, please. And you could do that. Now, you have to buy packets of them, don't you? And it's the same with the nails. You can't go in and buy 4 nails. You have to go and buy a packet of 20. But the annoying thing is, I mean, I don't mind that so much if I had to buy 20 hooks. But I'm annoyed because I've bought 45 hooks. I don't know, 30, no, more than that. 39 of which are hooks that I don't want. How annoying is it? I suppose I could always use it as a maraca, couldn't I? Oh, best years of our lives. Oh, makes me wanna dance. That's my latest karaoke tune, that one. Best Years of Our Lives from Modern Romance. You know it? I'll sing it for you one week. So that was it, but I still don't feel ripped off yet. What I felt ripped off for was I bought some Velcro. Downstairs, in the living room, I have this leather settee, right, which is quite a few years old now, green leather settee. You might have seen it on a previous show. I think we've done a show from the living room a couple of weeks ago. And the cushions that I sit on, not the ones behind me, the cushions that I sit on are always sliding forward. And it's most annoying. Oh, hang on just a minute, what have I done here? Oh, I should have written down something. Oh, hang on, there it is. Sorry, let me just make a note of something. There we are. I have to write down what time I need to finish a show, otherwise I go on forever. I mean, I did forget one time how long I was talking for, and the next thing I knew it was 2 days later and I hadn't stopped talking. Eh? Anyway, so these cushions downstairs, are they cushions, what you sit on? No, cushions are the thing. Oh, well, you know what I mean. The cushions that you sit on keep sliding forward. The strange thing is you don't notice them sliding forward. They just do it. You know, you're sitting there watching a programme, I don't know, whatever, Casualty 1909 or Deal or No Deal with Noel Edmonds, which I've really got into again suddenly. Oh, there's been some marvellous deal or no deals recently over the last couple of days. Not yesterday, the day before, there was this old age pensioner bloke, and he was a lovely man. He kept getting... Oh, excuse me. He kept... I hiccup then, did you hear that? He kept getting the rules wrong and trying to go for... Do you ever watch Deal or No Deal? He kept choosing numbers even before Noel Edmonds had asked him the question, deal or no deal. And he had such bad rounds. Right at the beginning of the game, he took out the 250,000, then the 100,000, then the 75,000, then the 50,000, and they were all going down one after the other. It was sad. I was crying. It's really sad because this bloke, he'd fought in World War and, you know, we're free because of people like him. This is something I never forget. And he ended up with 2 boxes. And he could win either £1 or £1,000. Do you know what Deal or No Deal is? Have you ever watched that? Okay, well, it's 15 people. I think it's 15 people, or is it 16? 15 or 16, I don't know. And they've all got boxes, right? And one of the people sits on his own, kind of at the front, and he's got his own box as well. And the idea is, each of these boxes have got a set amount of money in them. It's either a penny, 50 pence, £1, I think £100, £500, and there's low ones, and the colour of those is the colour on the scoreboard is blue for all the low ones, anything between £1 and £750, and then they have higher ones going from £1,000 up to £250,000, right? And all these boxes have one of those numbers in them. No one knows what's in the box. And the bloke or woman on his own, who has her own box, is trying to find where the big money is. Okay? They win either whatever's in their box if they decide to play the game right to the end, or they take an offer from the banker, which could be any amount depending on how well the game is going. So it depends how well the game is going to how much the banker offers you in cash. So, for example, if they've got halfway through the game and there were not many red figures left, you know, that's the figures between 1,000 and 250,000. If there were hardly any, maybe some low ones of those left, but there were lots of blue ones left, then the banker could offer the person £500. However, if there were a lot of the red numbers left, and maybe the £250,000 and the £100,000 was there, the banker could offer to buy the single box off the bloke on his own. He could offer him, I don't know, £70,000, £80,000 to buy the box. Well, the idea is that the banker is trying to stop the person winning loads of money. So he's offering them, you know, he's trying to cut his losses. Do you see what I mean? If the banker thinks that the £250,000 is in that box, and, for example, he's still got £100,000 and £75,000 on the board waiting, then the banker could offer him £80,000 for that box, right? In the hope that he'll save himself money. So that's how the whole thing works, and it's good. And I kind of left it for a while. And the presenter of the show is Noel Edmonds, who's been around forever and a day, and he does it really well. I love the show. So it was very sad when that poor old bloke, that pensioner bloke, he got down to, his choice was £1,000 or £1, and he decided to go through to the end, and they opened the box and he only had £1. Oh, what a shame. And then the next day, right, the bloke had gone all the way through nearly to the end, and it was a good game. He'd knocked out all the blue ones completely, and he had some very high red ones left. And I think he had £20,000, 50, 75 and 250,000 left. All right? Something like that. I might be wrong, I don't know. And the banker offered him £70,000 for the box, which is a lot of money. A lot of money. £70,000 the banker offered him for that box he had. And the bloke says, well, he says, I know the £250,000 is there. He says, but he didn't want to take the risk. And he says, I'm not a greedy man. £70,000 deal. And he took the money. Now, once they've taken the money, the game is finished, but they continue until all the boxes have been opened. And they got round to opening his box, and the £250,000 was in there. So he missed out there, didn't he? But he was happy. He was happy with the £70,000. I mean, I'd be happy with £70,000, wouldn't you? Huh? And it was a good game. And they were nice people, two elderly people. Lovely they were. What he wanted to do was pay off the mortgage, go on a Caribbean cruise, and maybe have a car. And the mortgage that he had to pay off was £50,000. So he's done it, you see. Brilliant. And such a nice couple as well. But we were all kind of praying that he got the big money, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. So while I'm sitting on my settee watching that, the cushions kind of slide forward, and you don't notice. The strange thing is, you don't notice these cushions on the settee sliding forward. I kind of wonder, is it those secret elves that Robert keeps telling us about? Robert in Iceland. Is it the elves that are maybe pulling these cushions forward while I'm sitting there trying to view my programmes? I mean, it could be, couldn't it? It's all very worrying and mysterious, really. Anyway, so while I was in home base, I saw these Velcro things, right? And this is where I've been ripped off. I bought 4 bits of Velcro. They can't be any bigger than 3 inches by 1 inch. Okay, bits of Velcro. And you remove the backing paper and stick them on whatever it is you want to hold in place. Okay, so 4 bits they were. 4 bits. So, was it 4 bits or 2 bits? 1 minute. Oh, I can't remember now. It was 2 bits. It was 2 bits of Velcro. So I kind of positioned them. I have 3 cushions, you know, the bottom part of the settee that's in 3 bits. So I put them on the 2 end cushions where I usually sit. I don't need them on the other because I don't usually sit down the end. I carefully positioned them, and then I sat on them for 10 minutes, hoping that that would help them stick. And I read the instructions, and it says once you stick them, they do take 24 hours to reach their full kind of stickiness to whatever you've stuck them on. So that's fair enough. Okay, I understand that. So they're on the settee now, so that's all well and good. But here we go, right? 2 pieces of Velcro, right about 3 inches by... No, I wouldn't even say it's 2 inches. 3 inches by about 1.5 inches. How much do you think that was? For 2 small pieces of Velcro. £5.49, dear. £5.49 for 2 blooming little bits of plastic Velcro. What a rip-off, dear. Isn't it? What a total and utter rip-off. I thought, I must come and tell you about that tomorrow, I thought to myself. Shocking. I don't know how they get away with it, some of these places. Well, they get away with it because idiots like me buy the stuff. That's why. £5.49 for 2 bits of Velcro. It's wrong, isn't it? It's a sin. It's a sin in the face of God. And these people would be punished, whoever it is, getting all the money for Velcro. Yes. That's it. Right, now let me give you the address then. If you'd like to put pen to paper, my address is... Are you ready? Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG42 9ED, United Kingdom. Would love to receive holiday postcards, little letters, anything like that. Don't be sending me anything expensive, dear. Okay? No expensive things. Once again, it's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG42 9ED, United Kingdom. Do use the post office box because it's expensive for me to have it, dear. £120 a year. What do they do with that? £120 a year to have a little box, I ask you. I've heard it all now. Heard it all now. God, just more and more expense going up. News about my poor little invalid niece. She is invalidden at the moment with, they think, swine flu. Yes, I got a phone call yesterday from my sister, Sharon. And she said, oh, you know, Tracey's got, they think she's got swine flu. I said, why do you think that? She said, well, she rung up the NHS line because she hasn't been feeling very well. And she has got a high fever and what else? She was getting cold and then hot, and she got a cough, which I heard on the phone just before I came up the stairs earlier on. She got a nasty cough and things like that. Oh, poor little Tracey. How old is she? 20? Oh, she's either 21 or 22. She might be 22. Anyway, she lives with her boyfriend. They bought a house together. He's away at the moment, working. So she's on her own. So my sister has moved her back just for a few days into my sister's house. But unfortunately, she is sleeping and recovering in the bed that I usually use. So I will have to insist that that bed is burnt. Well, you don't know, do you? All these viruses and things, they might get impregnated onto the bed. And the next time I go, achoo, 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 won't it? I will be infected with viruses. We can't have any of that. So she rung up the NHS place, and my sister had to go somewhere and collect this Tamiflu stuff. Not from a normal chemist. She actually, I think they gave her some sort of address, and she had to go somewhere to get this stuff. And then she collected it, and she moved them back in the house with her, which is not necessarily a good idea, sister. I mean, I know she's my lovely niece and that she's your daughter and that, but is that a wise thing, moving her back in the house with everyone else? You'll all guess it, dear, and you'll wish you hadn't. She must be fed and looked after in a plastic bubble. That's it, my niece needs to be placed inside a plastic bubble so no one can touch her or give her cuddles or hugs. It's the only way. Oh, poor Tracey. In fact, you know, I think I might send her flowers. Shall I send some flowers to her? She'd like that, wouldn't she? I actually rarely send flowers to anyone because, again, I think florists, I think they charge an astronomical amount for sending flowers. When you can go and buy a lovely load of flowers from garden centres and do it yourself kind of thing for less than a quarter of the price usually of florists. But there you go. I mean, she's up north, I'm down south. It's the only way I can do. I'm going to send her. Yes, I'll do that. I'm going to send my little niece flowers to cheer her up. Unfortunately, my niece then she got the Tamiflu stuff, right? She then proceeded to read all about the side effects, which is never a good idea. You see, when you have all these drugs and different bits and pieces and tablets and what have you, there's always a leaflet inside telling you all the possible side effects. And quite frankly, I think sometimes it's not a good idea to read these leaflets, because they have to put down every possible side effect that you could have. And most people don't get the bad ones. Some people do, yes they do, but most people don't get all the bad side effects. Now, my niece read the whole thing and now she's worried she's going to get this and that and whatever. Oh, poor thing. She says she's got a really bad headache. That's one of the symptoms of the swine flu, is a very bad headache. Poor little Tracey. Never mind, I'm going to send her some flowers. Right, is that all? Shall we move on to some emails, I think? Yes, we will. Okay, off we go then. First of all, from Joe Morris of AmericanTalkUSA.com, who heard my plight. He heard my plight a couple of shows ago while I was saying Suko, who kindly came over recently from New York and bought me lots of cans of baked beans. Bush's baked beans, which are the most delicious baked beans you've ever tasted. Well, unfortunately, I have now nearly run out. And Joe from American Talk USA says, you just let me know when you need more beans or when the postal thing has been corrected. Oh, yes, because we had a bit of a problem with the post box, which I explained on the last show. I tried to renew it. And they took the post office or the Royal Mail, whoever it is that run this post box, 5 days, right? It took them 5 days to sort out a return phone call to me. I mean, that did include Saturday and Sunday, but nevertheless, I rang on the Thursday. They promised to ring me back in an hour, okay? Now, that would have been 11 o'clock in the morning. Thursday came and went, so did Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Monday, and eventually they rang on, I think, Tuesday morning. Great way to do business, post office. Great way to do business. Make a customer wait 5 days. Very, very clever. If there had been someone else to go to, I would have gone to them. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Anyway, Joe says, bush beans, the place they are made, is like 30 miles from my house. So don't be shy, just ask. Serious dude, just ask. Happy to be of service. Joe says he's going to send me some baked beans. Joe, the only thing is, I mean, cans of baked beans are very, very heavy. It costs you a fortune in the post, mate. So thank you very, very much for the offer, but I shall decline that one. No deal. Deal or no deal? No deal. But thank you, Joe. I do appreciate that. Maybe a couple of tins at Christmas for a special occasion, okay? But they are very, very dear to send it. I mean, you probably buy the baked beans for 50 cents or something, and then it's going to cost you $2 to send the blooming can in the post, isn't it? Thank you, Joe. He also says, I'm just sitting down to... I've read this. Have I read this already? I've read this. Sorry, Joe. I've read that one, haven't I? Yeah. Talking about Ross Patzel's show. Yes. Right, okay. We have a new person. Where is it now? Hang on a minute. There it is. Have a new person listening. Niall, who is in Switzerland. La Suisse. Bonsoir, mon ami. Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. Et vous? Just doing some French for you. Learn French with Chris. Oh, by the way, Maureen, I thought you were supposed to give us all Spanish lessons. We need some little phrases that we can use. Come on, Maureen. You were supposed to be giving us Spanish lessons, weren't you? What's happened? We've had one lesson and that was it. Hola. Not pronouncing the H. Hola. That's all she taught me. Can we have some more Spanish lessons, please, Maureen? We need little phrases that we can use if we ever visit España. Hombre. Anyway. Dear Chris, I found your podcast quite accidentally on iTunes and must say I'm devoted. I'm devoted to you too as well, Niall. I hope I've said that right. Niall. Niall. Is that right? A devoted fan. Living here is sunny Switzerland in a village completely unpronounceable in French, let alone English. They are a breath of fresh air, that's the podcasts, to me, from my current tedious tasks at work. Come on, what do you do for work then? Come on, tell me. Give me the information. I'm nosy. I want to know. We all want to know. Niall, it's no good saying that you're at work. We want to know what you're doing. Are you a secret listener? Secret listeners are those who are sitting at this very moment secretly at work, plugged into the back of their computers or MP3 players, and they've got earbuds in, hoping that no one notices that they are actually listening to this programme. And I know those people at the moment are smiling quietly to themselves, aren't you? I can see your little smiles. Come on. Have I got you? I'm going to make you laugh. Laugh, go on. Now you're sitting there at your office desk laughing, hoping that no one will notice. Oh, my heart goes out to you people in offices. I don't know how you do it. Oh, God. I did work in a very large office for a while as a directory inquiry operator. And then also a 100 operator. It's a phone number you dial in the UK to get the operator. And I did that for a few years, and it's the most... Oh, isn't it awful? Working in offices, everyone knows when you get up to go to the toilet, or everyone knows how long you've taken for lunch and all this business. I don't know how you... I honestly don't know how you people work in offices. Huh? They know when you go out for a cigarette. I used to smoke back then, a long time ago now. I did used to smoke, yeah. I've given up now for, must be coming on 20 years. Best thing I ever did, give up smoking. You must keep trying to give up smoking. How close do you sit to your friends in the office? Who's in an office at the moment and listening? I want you to look up and around. Is there a funny smell? Is there? Just have a look over to your left. Is it her or him? Is it you smelling? Or is it on the left? You never admit, do you? You never get anyone to admit who's made the smell. Or who's got bad breath. Who sits really close to people in an office and their colleague has got bad breath? Have you ever told them? That's the question. Come on, tell me about your colleagues at work. Don't worry, they won't know. It will be our secret. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Come on, tell me, what are your colleagues like around you? Do they ever ask you what you're listening to? Do you tell them? Do you? Or do they say, what are you laughing at? Do you actually tell them or not? No, nothing. No, nothing. Don't tell them. It's our secret, okay? Our secret. Niall writes, the ability to listen to current happenings in the UK while typing away in English in the world's worst designed piece of software has given me the capacity to stay calm and zen-like rather than throwing my computer from the window and slapping the Genevian developer who thought it was a nice user face. Oh, isn't that annoying, isn't it? Excuse me. I hate software that is hard to use, and there's a lot of it, isn't there? There really is. Your production quality is brilliant. Oh, thank you. We do try. I mean, I've kind of built up the quality of the programme. Oh, can you hear that? It's a text message. Do you mind if I have a look? I'm just going to have a look. Just a minute. Very exciting. Oh, I've got my G-Star jeans on. G-Star jeans, which I've had on for the last few shows now, to be honest. That's why I need a new pair. We're upgrading from tracksuit bottoms to jeans now, which has pleased my niece. She is so pleased about that. Now, who's this text from? Oh, it's from my friend. Sorry I missed your calls last night, fell asleep. You know that's from, don't you? James Dean. It is James Dean. James Dean. Can I just text him back? Well, just a minute. Actually, let's ring him back. You won't be able to hear him. Just a minute now. Shall we ring him back? We'll ring him. Oh, I can put him on the speakerphone, innit? Yeah. Put him on the speakerphone. It's ringing. Can you hear that?
All right there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am at the moment recording my transmissions.
I thought you might do, that's why I sent a text.
Yes, I thought so. Now, I shall be finished in approximately... 1 minute. Oh, hang on a minute. Where's my bit of paper? What time to finish? 54, 55, approximately 20 of your Earth minutes. Shall I call after that?
Oh, no, I shall be back in work at that time.
Oh. Is there anything important? Because you tried to ring me yesterday?
No, I was just ringing to see how you were.
I am well. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, well, he's gone now. He rang me a couple of times last night and I kept missing him. Now, where's that bit of paper I wrote down what time to finish? I've lost it again. There it is. It's all right, I found it. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The video and the audio, I suppose, I hope is like, you know, a kind of standard that is acceptable. I find that very important. Certainly, the audio side of things has always been quite good because that's what I do. I do stuff with sound and audio. And if you're serious about what you do, you've got to spend a little bit of money on proper microphones and things like that. You know, when you're first starting podcasts, there's nothing wrong with using perhaps the microphone that came with your computer. But as time goes on, if you're still doing it and you're still into it, I mean, I wouldn't recommend anyone at all who wants to do podcasts or video shows or anything like that, I would not recommend that you go out and spend a fortune to start with. Use whatever you've got. Use your webcam and use the microphone that came in your computer. But if you find you're still doing it a couple of months later, that's when you want to start perhaps spending a bit of money. First of all, always sort the sound out first. The sound is so much more important than the picture. It really is. Spend your money on that microphone and whatever, you know, sound software or anything like that. And then, if you're still doing it a while later, perhaps invest in a proper video camera. Now, I wasted a little bit of money early on where I kept trying to do it with various different webcams. Simply because of the fact that it was so easy to operate. Plug it into the back of your computer and away you go. And I got through 3 or 4, maybe 5 webcams altogether, thinking that every time I would buy another one, or it would be better quality. And some of them were better than others. But at the end of the day, I think really now, in hindsight, I wish I'd gone from a webcam, the first webcam, straight to a video camera. Because now I've got this video camera that I use, because this show is in audio or video. You can just listen to it if you want to, as many people, as I say, in offices do, or you can watch it as well. Just by going to the main site, unitedkingdomtalk.tv, unitedkingdomtalk.tv. That's for the latest video show. It's always shown there. Okay, so you don't need anything else. All you need is unitedkingdomtalk.tv, and the show on there will change on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Of course, there are some people as well listening to online radio stations as well, which is fine. So it comes on different ways, but the audio is always much more important than the video. But I wish I'd gone from that first webcam to a video camera. I think I wasted a little bit of money there, but, you know, we live and learn, don't we? The camera I use, if there's any technical people watching and want to know what it is, it's a Canon Legria FS200. It's not a high, not high quality. It's not a high definition one or anything like that, okay? We don't want high definition because then I'll have to redo the studio. Because you'll start seeing lines in the curtains and things like that. We kind of liked the slightly blurred image, I think. My friend Ron, he says, how do you manage to look so young on the telly? How dare, what a cheek. Because I do look young, dear. Unlike you. Sad old thing he is. He's very... I've known Ron for coming on 20 years now. He is my best friend. I went out with him for a while. We went out with each other for about a year. That was 20 years ago. And I had terrible trouble letting go. Real bad. That was, you know, we've all got someone where we have trouble letting go. Well, he was the one I had trouble letting go of. In fact, I had to cut him off for 3 years because I just couldn't get over it recently. And we started, I remade contact with him in January this year. And he is now, and I think will always be, my best friend. Absolutely. And he's as scatty as anything. Scatty. And he's very fashion conscious. He spends a lot of money on clothes. Right? But the only thing is, last time I saw him when we went to the cinema, we left his other half at home and we went to the cinema to see Harry Potter, which I told you about on the last show. And he's walking around, you know, this new well, I say new fashion, it's been a while around now, where they have the jeans halfway down their bums and show the pants. And these pants must have been halfway up his waist. And it didn't look right to me. But of course he knows better, you know, he knows all about fashion sense and all that business. So it's nice to have, he will always be, I think, my best friend. Nothing can kind of come in the way. We've had people like that before, trying to stick wedges in between. He's got a lovely, his other half is lovely, really nice. His name's Andy. Really get on with him as well, which I'm pleased about. But sometimes you have to do that, you know. Was someone else saying the other day about they'd split up with someone and they want to be friends, and he said, what do you think? I said, well, which way is it? And he said, well, the other one has fallen in love with me. I said, do you love them? And he said, no. I said, in that case, your best thing is to cut him off completely. Don't make contact. That whole friends doesn't, the whole can we be friends thing does not work if one really loves the other one, but it's not the other way round. The only way to do it is cut them off. And then maybe after a long period of time, you can go back and be friends, but not straight away. Not straight away. But after that, you can become almost the best of friends. Now, my first ever girlfriend, Fiona, and you know the first one, you know, that's the one, isn't it? And for ages, I do personally tend to try and hold on to things when they're finished. Really. I'm one of those, you know, I can't let go. And years passed in between, and after that, we became good friends. And I wouldn't even, you know, I wouldn't look at her now and think, oh, you're gorgeous or anything like that. I think, oh, what a nice person. She's a good friend. Would never let her down over anything. But we don't talk much at all, maybe a couple of times a year. That's all on the telephone. And you know what? If we've got any younger people watching or listening to the show at the moment, as you get older, it seems to me that in your head, or at least I am the same as I was when I was 18. A little bit mad, a little bit unconventional. And these things don't seem to change. And when you talk to people that you've known for years and years, you talk to them the same as when you were 18 or 19. Do you find that? And yet, I mean, the way I talk to my niece and my two nephews is nothing like the way my uncles and aunts used to talk to me. I don't know if that's a generation thing. I talk to my niece and nephews more like close friends rather than family. We talk about everything. Strange, isn't it? And yet I would never hear my uncles and aunties talking to me like that. It's because they were the adults and I was the child. Well, with my nieces and nephews and all that, I mean, they are all over 20. Well, Two of them are over 20. One's 25, 21, and the little one's 12. I suppose I talk to the 20-year-old and a 25-year-old like friends rather than family. Completely different. Do you find that with the different generations over the years? Do you think you're the same person now in the mind as you were when you were a child? Do let us know. Email address to the show, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I think on the next show, actually, we're going to have an email catch-up programme because I've been rabbiting away so much we haven't got to many of these emails. Back to Niall's email. Your production quality is brilliant. I've tried a few other podcasts and it really shows. And the quantity of podcasts has kept me very happy over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I do 3 shows a week. 3 chatettes a week, okay? 1 hour, just under an hour each. I'm rapidly approaching real-time listening and will remain a true follower for as long as you are producing. What do you mean producing? I'm not chucking out babies everywhere, you know? I know what you mean. If you like a laugh, try uttering my village name and I'll get back to you with a phonetic version in a later email. It's Villars Terrasalin. Villars Terrasalin. Is that about right? That's the Swiss village where Niall lives. Oh, no. You do very well on the Eurovision, don't you, Switzerland? Is it Anne-Marie David, or does she represent Luxembourg? Actually, that's a point. What's happened to Luxembourg on the Eurovision Song Contest? We never see them anymore. Is it Anne-Marie David? Was she Swiss? You and I, we have a dream to fly. Wonderful dream, beautiful dream. Don't let it die. Is that Anne-Marie? Is she Swiss? I don't know. Regards and fondest wishes from Niall in Switzerland. What's that say? La vie est belle n'est. I don't know what that means. Or it might be rude. I better not read it out. Oh, I've read it out now, haven't I? What does that mean? La vie est belle n'est pas. N'est pas? La vie est belle n'est pas. La vie est belle n'est pas. I don't know what that means. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. Did you know you got language conversion things on the computer? Yeah, you can go French to English, and you type in something French and it comes up what it is in English. I'll have to put that in. I hope that's not rude. Huh? Hello to Hazel. Hello, Hazel. As I was waiting for Chanel House to start, what is Chanel House? I don't know what that is. Is that a TV programme? I heard you talking about cats and periods. Because someone wrote in and wanted to know how it was Toby in Japan, wasn't it, I think? Wanted to know how I cope with my cat having periods. Well, she doesn't because she's been done. Okay, she was done when she was, before I had her. It was my mum's cat. And she was, what's the word now? Splayed, that's it. Hazel says, right, if they have been splayed, then they don't have them. So that's in my case. If they still have all their bits intact, then they will only have a period once they've been doing it with other cats. Okay? Now, here's something very interesting. I don't know how true this is. If you want to know why cats howl, it's because the male cat and his bits, okay? Apparently the male cat's bit, you know what bit I mean, has spines that face the wrong way when they pull out. Oh dear, that must be painful for those. No wonder they howl. Poor little pussy cats. Can you just imagine that? Spines on the end of it, and this male cat tries to pull it out. I've got a bad stomach now thinking about it. Oh dear. Yikes, I'm surprised they mate as often as they do. So thank you, Hazel. You see, everyone knows things on this programme. We all know. Thank you, Hazel. There's always someone who knows. We're nearly out of time here, aren't we? A quick one here from Pretty Boy Steve. who comes to my karaoke nights on Monday night. I do a karaoke night every Monday night at Belushi's in Hammersmith from 9 o'clock if you ever want to come. Free to come in or free entry. And as I mentioned, one of the managers, the manager, has now left that particular branch of Belushi's and he's gone to work at the Belushi's in London Bridge, and I'm going to go down there. I haven't had time to go. Well, I haven't been down there yet. He couldn't make the other day when I was supposed to go down there. He wants me to go down there and have a look and see what sort of entertainment we can do down there. That's one of the things I do. I go and look at places, and you can't just go and look at a venue and decide. You have to go then when there are people there. You can't go in an empty room and say, right, it needs this and this. You've got to have customers there. So then you know roughly what might work and what won't work. And the group of regulars at Hammersmith thought I was going to leave there and go with Robbie. And I just wanted to read this lovely email out from I call him Pretty Boy Steve because he is rather stunning. Straight boy. He's a straight boy, but he's gorgeous. And he knows I fancy him. He put, I know you want to stay true to Rob, but please don't leave us on Mondays because we only come because you do it. Now, how nice is that to get that from a customer? So nice. So thanks for that, Steve. And time for me to go. I've got a load of emails here. Jeremy, Robert, Maureen. We'll do an email catch-up programme on the next show, OK? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. From myself, Chris Reardon. Bye-bye.